Abdul Hakim from Camden, New Jersey. Gives you salams. Loves for the sake of Allah. Question here from
وعليه عليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. أحبك الذي أحببتنا فيه. آمين.
Question here asks, what is the ruling on wearing false lashes, false eyelashes?
What is the ruling on wearing false eyelashes? The ulama of today, they differ with regards to being permissible, impermissible, or disliked. Me personally, I would say, first and foremost, I would advise you not to wear false eyelashes for several reasons. One, wearing false eyelashes may lead you to wearing other things that are false and fake, which are clearly prohibited. Two, is wearing something that's false and artificial, to me, goes against the natural beauty upon which Allah created man and woman. Natural beauty that Allah created you. You have a lot of hair, you have a little bit of hair. You have straight hair, your hair isn't straight. You have thin lips, you think your lips are ugly because they're thin. Allah made this person with thicker lips, etc. You have pale skin, I need a tan. You have dark skin, I don't want to bleach my skin. You should go with how Allah Azza wa Jal created you. He is the one, يُصَوِّرُكُمْ فِي الْأَرْحَامِ كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. He fashions you in the wombs as He wills, as He pleases, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, wearing something fake and artificial, in my personal opinion, is something that you should stay away from. From the natural beauty that Allah Azza wa Jalla created you, from that aspect. Everybody understand this? As far as if a sister had on fake eyelashes, inshallah it's a sister, hopefully. It's 2017. We don't know. A sister wearing fake eyelashes in the house with her husband's permission. She doesn't leave outside like that. He says, I like those eyelashes, big eyes, big hazel eyes. And the husband says, that's what he says. Then that's one thing. I wouldn't advise with it. But the ruling of wigs, fake hair, yarn, these different things, high heel shoes, so on and so forth, sometimes they are absolutely impermissible. And sometimes it depends on whether it's done in the house with the permission of the husband or not, such as dyeing the hair black. Some of the ulama, which is the sunnah, clearly supports that it's haram to dye the hair black, period. Another ulama, they say it's only haram if it's done done for the purpose of illusion, trickery. A woman trying to be a prostitute or trying to look younger than she actually is, but if she does it in the house with her husband's consent, to please her husband, I'm younger, I'm not that old, Sharif. Then some of them held the view that it's what? Permissible. Not saying that's my view, but we're trying to show you how to fiqh. What's inside of the house, bi-idhn az-zawj, with the permission of the husband, can sometime have an effect on the what? On the ruling. The husband knows that these aren't her eyelashes. He knows that. The husband knows that she has a hazel context. Right? Her eyes aren't hazel, Sharif. At the sit down, they were hazel. You got to ask her at the sit down, what do your natural eyes look? Do you wear contacts? She says, no, I don't wear contacts. You get married later on, you wake up in the next morning, you see a little thing on the side of the bed, like, what is this? I didn't want a woman with these color eyes. Everybody understand this? So a husband knows that her eyes aren't hazel. He knows that her eyes aren't green or blue or any other exotic color that you like. Everybody understand this? So is it permissible or is it considered to be tricking someone? Is she deceiving someone, Saleh? If she wears the contacts in the house?
She didn't inform the person.
Well, we said he knows already. He knows her eyes. It's not just, everybody understand this? So some of the ulama, they use these principles with regards to issues of tajmeel. هذا ضابط مهم في باب التجميل. Beautification in Islam. Everybody understand this? With regards to extending the hair, wearing a wig, wearing this, putting on that, so on and so forth. Some of the ulama, not all of them, they make a difference between that which is done in the house, not outside, with the husband's permission and consent, then that which is done outside of the house without the husband's permission and consent. Everybody understand this? Wearing high heel shoes. Is it permissible or not? Some ulama say no, totally haram. And some say in the house it's permissible to wear high heel shoes. 6-inch, 9-inch stilettos. Only what? Only in the house. Wallahu alam. So I wouldn't advise with it, but at the same time, I don't say that wearing artificial eyelashes are haram. I wouldn't say that. Wallahu alam.
Salams from DC.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا أخي.
Salam from your akhi, brother in Montreal.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. مرحبا. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome. All my brothers in Islam.
Sheikh Idris from Toronto. May Allah bless you.
Ameen.
When narrating a hadith, is it allowed to switch Rasulullah with Nabi? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? And
Yes.
vice versa?
لا بأس إن شاء الله. لا بأس. No problem إن شاء الله. الأمر في ذلك واسع. وإن كان الحفاظ على ما جاء وورد في الرواية أفضل وأحبط. لكن حتى السلف أنفسهم يروون الأحاديث بالمعنى. لكن طيب يكفي. تفضل. شلون؟
If I'm asked to sign up for something or pay for something with someone else's credit card, they ask me to go to the store and buy them something, give me a credit card. Is it permissible for me to do that or to sign up for a service with their credit card?
Based off of you holding a credit card to be haram or what?
Meaning,
The product being
am I
haram?
witnessing interest? Am I taking a part of the interest that they have signed up for?
You believe that using the credit card is
I would do that, just avoid the issue altogether. I don't feel comfortable using it.
clear. So if you don't feel comfortable using it, you're going to do it for someone else, it's the same ruling. Without a doubt. Your hand is on it, you're touching it, whether you believe it to be makruh, haram, or whatever the hukm is. Everybody understand this? Let alone the fact you're assisting your brother and not telling him what you feel is best. Even if you're mistaken and he's right. Brotherly advice. So there lies no doubt, it applies as well. Whatever the ruling may be according to your specific personal madhab. And what's meant by a madhab is not your own system of rulings, but your personal aqidah on the issue. What I believe. I feel that it's haram to wear blue, mathalan. That's my madhab. أذهب إلى هذا القول. We explained some Masjid Ansar some months ago. Remember Khalid? So you should avoid it. Aywa. And you don't love for your brother. You don't believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. And hate as well. I can't, Akhi, I'm sorry. I don't use credit cards. I feel credit cards are totally haram, they're bad. Malish. Or if it's an issue in which you don't necessarily consider it haram, but you feel it's best to avoid, it's problematic, at least for you. He says, I don't use it, but because it's for you, I'll do it for you. I don't consider it haram for myself, but I don't do it. But since it's you, I'll do it. Perhaps. But you still give your brother what? The necessary what? Advice. Wallahu alam.
Brothers from online, questioner says, is it permissible to line up the beard, as in giving it shape and definition for the purposes of obtaining employment?
We say, and let the beard grow, as the Prophet ﷺ said. Let the beard drape, let it fall down, let it hang. In the natural way that Allah created it. All of the hair of the face should remain upon the face, with exceptions to the mustache. The mustache should be trimmed. It should be cut. The rest of the hair should be allowed to grow in its natural course. The ruling on taking a fistful, the ruling on shaping it up, lining it up, removing the hair from the high parts of the cheekbone and things like this, from beneath the neck, from back hair, things like this, we say there could be room in those issues. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're cutting the beard, especially if the hair is way up here. Mathalan, for brothers that are very hairy, mathalan. But I would advise to leave it as it is naturally. However, you're stuck between two vices. Go get a beard in which I have to use Gillette, or just trim it a bit. Obviously, the wise man is going to say, I'd rather take that. It's best to avoid it. Could be mandatory to avoid the job as a whole. I have to go somewhere where I can dress and identify myself as a Muslim practicing the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, who had a full beard and told his people to have full beards. But we're saying here in a situation in which you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Everyone understand this? You're stuck between a what? A rock and a hard place. This job is going to allow me to go to Jummah. It allows me to make the Salat, Dhuhr and Asr, Maghrib on time. I'm not dealing with pork and swine and wine and riba. I don't have to sit and touch and talk with women. It's a good job in general for a 2017 Muslim. I don't have to wear this, Kevin. I'm not involved in these bad things. I'm not designing technology to blow up Muslims, waliyadu billah, and things like this. But your beard can't be like that. It has to be just a bit what? Groomed. Has to be a bit what? Groomed. We don't believe that that's permissible to groom the beard and to trim it and make it like, bushy. We don't believe that that's permissible. Everybody understand this? However, looking at the fiqh of what? Situation. And there lies no doubt, shaving the beard is haram according to all of the ulama. Halq. Split the ulama of the past. As for today, you may find some muftis who say it's not haram. But la yu'ba bihadha al-qawl. But the concept of trimming it, having some hair on the face, there lies no doubt. That's much better. That's far better than having total what? Mufti face. Wallahu alam. Brother gave me at the conference. I won't mention his name. He gave me a bag. In the bag, he said, this is some tonic, Mufti, for you to grow your beard. He said, use it, Akhi. It's good for you. Another student, sister said, listen, my brother, he sells these things online. Check it out, inshallah. Make your beard grow, Allahumma musta'an.
Does not shave his beard. Alhamdulillah. Brother Muhammad Amin from Minneapolis. Assalamu alaikum. If a person in the chain of narration of hadith is majhul, is the hadith automatically considered da'if? Also, what is the ruling of saying Happy New Year?
Muhammad Amin, that's my disciple, one of my students. Allah bless him. A young brother, alhamdulillah, very studious, very hardworking with regards to the Quran. I was fortunate enough to meet him a few times to one of my many trips to Minneapolis and the thriving Somali community there. May Allah bless those brothers and sisters even more. Ameen. As far as a hadith that has a chain in which a narrator is majhul, literally meaning unknown. Literally meaning someone who has been ignored. Someone of which there's ignorance surrounding. We don't know about him. And there are different types of majhul. Al-jahala ala aqsam. Jahalat hal, jahalat ayn, ila akhirihi. Different types of majhul. The general rule, especially for a beginner, the beginning stages of learning the sciences of hadith, is that the hadith is going to be da'if. And that is because one of the conditions of an authentic report, hadith that's accepted, is that the narrators have to be trustworthy and pious, religious. Adalatul ruwah. Let alone adopt precision of memory. We don't know who he is. How do we know what his memory is like? So that's the hypothetical, theoretical rule, is that the hadith is going to be da'if. As far as the detailed study of mustalah al-hadith and ilm al-rijal and ilal and takhrij, especially according to the earlier ulama, then just because a hadith has something in which is problematic about its isnad, doesn't necessarily mean that the matan is going to be da'if. And just because the isnad, zahiruhu sihha, seems and appears to be authentic, it does not mean that the matan is going to be what? Authentic. But that's further studies. Everybody clear on this? As far as saying Happy New Year's to a Muslim, I wouldn't advise a Muslim to say that at all. I wouldn't advise a Muslim to say that. To tell someone and to congratulate someone on Happy New Year's. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's haram, but I wouldn't say that to a person. And nor would I advise a Muslim to say that to someone as far as congratulations. As far as, I don't know if he means the khutbah title. And the khutbah title, if we haven't already learned, Hadith disciple. This is a conversation, many brothers, many sisters. Hadith disciple is not your normal average channel. It's not normal average channel, and it's not meant to be. From day one, it wasn't average. It's meant to be unique. And from the uniqueness of the channel is the selection of the titles of the classes and the lectures. The 5 minutes of fact. If you pay close attention, you'll find all types of names seem weird and strange and exotic. We do that what? Intentionally. Intentionally, for several wisdoms. And from those wisdoms is to get you to think, to open up your mind, to empty your cup. Let alone maybe a title which may be exciting or provocative to get you to watch it. Happy New Year's. What is this guy talking about? A hadith disciple, and it says the khutbah, Happy New Year's. So you need to sit down and do what, Sean? Watch it and listen to it. And bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, the thing that we can assure and guarantee, not bragging or praising ourselves, but as a company, the CEO of the company, we can assure quality. We can assure our customer satisfaction according to what you're looking for. You may be looking for a different style of khutbah. I can't guarantee that you're going to be satisfied with our khutbah. But if you're looking for a specific style, our way, then we've been in that. And the khutbah is going to be from the Quran, from the hadith, from the athar, the Arabic language, common sense, real life stuff. So sometimes sit down and watch it with the weird name or the weird title, Hot Dates. Everybody understand this? Let alone increasing, increasing in what? In wit. And a student of knowledge and the da'i to call to Allah has to have what? Has to have wit. Not just smartness or intelligence, he has to be witty. Dealing with people. And we learn this from the Quran. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had what? He had wit. He said that the what? That's called what? It's wit. It's witty. Intelligence, hikmah. Call it whatever you want to. Give it any name or title that you want to. Everybody understand this? Hot dates. It gets you to use your brain and to think about the hadith more. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, protect yourself from the fire, even if it's with what? Half of a date. Between you and the hellfire is a... If I got this, what's love got to do with it? What does love have to do with your iman? Brotherhood. And the list goes on, title after title after title. And from that is what we did last week, Happy New Year's. May you have a happy new year based off of what? Your time, wasting your time, letting the day slip by, letting the night slip by, etc. Everybody got this? You don't necessarily have to agree, that's fine. But it's at least our haqq that you what? Understand. Wallah.
Days.
Huh?
Ayam.
Ayan. Allah musta'an.
Days. Brother said, didn't mean the khutbah card.
Just for clarification, because I'm not sure that many are. Many people have contacted us. Said it's hard to find the classes on the channel. It's hard to find, look it up. Hadith disciple is not what? It's not your average what? It's not, and it is not what? It's not meant to be. It's only built for few people, few type of people, with a specific taste.
Sheikh Idris from Toronto, may Allah bless you. Can you lend some advice on how to keep the fire burning when it comes to continuing learning and studying?
Rekindling the romantic flair of ilm. Once again, and this is very important as well, to understand this as students of knowledge. It is one thing in which you love a thing, and it's another thing or another concept in which you're in love with a thing, and they aren't the same. You can be married to someone for 50 years. I love my wife, but I'm no longer in love with her. Everybody understand this? This is important. Or, waliyadhu billah, you can be in love with someone, but it doesn't mean that you actually... Everybody understand this? This is a reality of life. We can act like this is real. It's a reality of life. I love this person, but we don't talk, we don't eat together, sleep in separate rooms. There's no what? Romance, love, it's not there. But I love her. If something happened to my wife, I will be bereaved. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? You ever see your grandparents? He sleeps in one room, she sleeps in another room. I understand this. Not everybody's grandparents, but some people. He loves her to death, but he's not in love with her. That was 50 years ago, 30 years ago when we were younger. Not now. Everybody understand this? And the opposite as well. Someone's having an affair. He's cheating on his wife. He's in love with this woman, but if something happened to her, if she left him, he says, hey, you know, I have a wife and kids, I have a family. Everybody understand this? Because he doesn't actually love her. Everybody understand this? And the same applies to knowledge and ilm. You could love knowledge without having a proper passion. Everybody understand this? You could love ilm. Every Muslim in general has to love knowledge, because knowledge is the foundation of iman. Everybody understand this? فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ. That's the foundation of iman, is to know. Every Muslim has a general love of ilm. Every Muslim. There's no Muslim who hates knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah. There's no Muslim that's going to hate something that Allah says, His Rasul says. The early pious Muslims, there's no Muslim there's a true Muslim that's going to hate that. But every Muslim seek ilm, buy books, study, support and respect those who do? Of course not. Because those Muslims are not in love with ilm. Every student of knowledge who's been overseas, who's studied, who's graduated, who has ijaz, who's memorized the Quran, he doesn't stay busy with ilm. I never saw a brother Fulan unless he had a book in his hand. I never saw Brother Fulan 2-3 pins in his pocket. Every single day out of the week, Brother Fulan is giving a class, a khutbah, a faida, something. If I call him, if I go to him, he's going to give me advice. He's going to help me out. He loves to teach. He loves to talk. He loves books. This because he's in love with the ilm. Everybody understand this? So there's a difference. So how do you get that love? That's the first question. The second question is, how do you keep that love? And the third question, when it does die, when the love dies, how do you rekindle that flame, Sharif? Everybody understand this? How do you get back? Everybody understand this? It's a whole lecture in itself. As far as loving ilm, then obviously the brother loves ilm by asking the question. As far as keeping it, then I would say staying involved with it. Make it your life and make everything else secondary. Make everything else secondary. How many hours out of the day do you study? You say, I don't have study time. There's no such thing as study time. ما في وقت للقراءة. في وقت النوم، وقت الأكل، وقت للأصحاب، وقت للزوار. أما البقية فهو للقراءة. كيف؟ في فرق. There's a difference. There's no time to study. There's no such thing as study time. I have time to eat. I have time to visit my family. I have time for this one and for that one. The default is that my time is with what? Ilm. Reading, studying, memorizing, or whatever. Everybody understand this? Make that your default. Al-ishtighal bil-ilm. Learning knowledge, teaching knowledge is not the same as busying yourself with what? With knowledge. There were many teachers in the Islamic University of Medina. There were professors, there were doctors that knew the subject like the back of their hands. But when they left the Jamia, they weren't scholars anymore. Businessmen or family men. And if you called them or visited them, they say, I can't help you tomorrow morning in school. Literally. Just like that. And the other teachers, you go to his masjid, you go to his house, marhaba, ahlan, sit on the couch, tfaddal, what do you got? You come to argue, you come to debate, I said something, you have a faida for me, let's go. Yurahib bit-talaba, he would welcome the students. There's two different people here. So staying busy with knowledge. You may not have the flair, you may not have it in the beginning, but وَمَنْ يَسْتَعْفِفْ يَعِفَّهُ اللَّهُ. He who tries to have chastity, he who tries to do without asking the people, Allah, the Prophet said that Allah will allow him to have that. مَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ صَبِرْهُ اللَّهُ. He who tries to have patience, Allah will. So you have to be busy with knowledge. Make knowledge the focal point, the core. And everything else is a garnish on the side of the plate. That's the first step. The second step is you got to have friends that are on the path like you. Your friends have to be on the path. They have to be willing to study and to learn to benefit themselves like you are. You can't have friends that have no care, no concern about ilm. They're not going to remind you about knowledge. They're not going to teach you about knowledge. Let's go to the masjid. Let's go to the library. I read this. I studied that. What do you think about this? You have to be around good, righteous people. As the Prophet tells the virtue of the seller of musk. One or three things. He's either going to give you from free, either want to buy it, or at least, subhanAllah, brother smells nice. Oud spray. Everybody understand this? You can't lose with this type of friend. And that's someone who's busy with knowledge as you're busy with knowledge. The third step is how to keep that passion. It's to constantly read the biographies of the Imams of the past. From the Salaf al-Salih to Imam Ahmed, Imam al-Bukhari, how they traveled, how they suffered, how they sacrificed, what they went through, and how they were passionately in love with knowledge. And that's all that mattered to them. They had the chance to be judges, they had the chance to be teachers, they had أُرِدَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ مَنَاصِبْ أَبَوْا رَفَضُوا. And هذا يشغل عن العلم يلهي عن العلم. This is going to keep me from studying hadith and teaching hadith. I don't want to be a judge. And being a judge today is major, let alone back then. You know what it means to be a judge? Just think about this. When we read these stories, Fulan was wanting to be the judge. He refused the ruler. He didn't want to be a judge. A judge. You know a judge? I have a friend, a family member who's a lawyer. In most cases, he has wealth. He has connections. He has networks. He knows people, high places, let alone a what? A judge. A judge in a courtroom. You understand this? Supreme Court, a judge. Well educated, well taken care of. If he has no money, he has how many people he can just call what? For anything. Get you out of a situation, get you out of trouble, get you into a school. Whether it's halal or haram. You want to go to Harvard, you want to go to Yale? My nephew is applying. Please get him in. Everybody understand this? So imagine what? Back then when things weren't as easy as they are today. Water was scarce, meat, this and that. Wasn't easy to travel. So imagine, everybody saying this? So they refused to be judges They refused to take positions because it would busy them from knowledge. Everybody understand this? So when you read about how they sacrificed, how they suffered, how they gave up everything for what? For ilm. Their lives about, that's going to inspire you. And it's going to make you scorn yourself. What am I? Imam Malik didn't have a roof. He sold his wooden roof because he needed money for hadith. Imam Bukhari, he threw the money into the ocean. How much money do I have? What comforts do I have? I have heat. I have running water. I have electricity. I have Wi-Fi. I have so much. And I'm lazy. Don't benefit. Don't study. Don't read. Read those stories of those ulama. Huh? Last but not least, how to keep the passion of knowledge is continue to travel and continue to go. Seek knowledge and teach knowledge. From time to time, go make umrah, go make hajj, go overseas, go to Mauritania, go here, go there. Everybody understand this? These are some other ways, and there are many more. As far as how to rekindle, then just stop and reflect on time, like we said in the khutbah. Happy New Year's. Think about time. Where would I be if I stay consistent, Lutfi? Where would I be right now? 2 years ago, I started this Arabic class. I quit. I stopped because of one reason or another. Where would I be right now? I'll be reading this, studying this in Arabic. Where would I be if I didn't quit the Quran class? Everybody understand this? Where would I be if I didn't drop out of school? What benefit could I have on myself, on the people? What change could I have on society? Stop and reflect on the loss, the opportunity the law gave you that you didn't handle, you didn't utilize. This is something which within that will allow you to rekindle that passion, that love for knowledge. I got to go back. I got to do it. I got to go harder. Everybody understand this? And also looking at people that used to be your friends and your classmates. He's here and you're still down here. Everybody understand this? And there are many other ways as well. First and foremost, before all of that is asking Allah, the Mighty and the Most High, for success and for consistency. And if you're not consistent as a student of knowledge, you're wasting your time. If you're not willing to be consistent, you're wasting your time. Wallahu alam. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله محمد وجزاكم الله خيرا.